Steve Burnett, 4/8 of the Chamber of Comedy Update team. On behalf of all of us here at Maine Repertory Theater and the Chamber of Comedy family, both cast and crew, I would like to take this moment to wish you and your loved ones a very, very happiest of Easters. We hope this season fills you with joy, hope, and all the promise of a brand new day and happier days ahead. Now, you might be wondering why Dave is not here yet, as am I. We recently received word that Dave has been held up due to some freak Spanx accident, but his arrival will be here any moment. But I thought in the meantime, as we wait for Dave, maybe it would be a good idea to read you the classic tale, the classic Easter tale of the a-hole who stole Easter. It was Easter's Eve, and the air was strange in the sleepy town of Holeville, as all the Hole families were tucked in for the night from a long, long day of doing what holes do in Holeville, creating holes in the garden, plowing the rich soil with hand-held tools. In the house on the hill, little Heidi Hole was still stirring. Too excited to mask it, she imagined what treats might arrive in her basket beneath their Easter tree, goodies delivered by the Easter Bunny, hopping down the chimney with candies, biscuits, blankets, and more, as bunnies have done since the Second World War. Well, it just so had happened a dark cloud had rolled in, which it never did on Easter Eve, and before you know it, the town of Holeville was as black and frigid as the soulless cold heart of Holeville's tax collector and retired Army officer, Major A. Hole, who spent his days going door to door, demanding money from every single and married hole in Holeville. But Heidi Hole didn't care about the incoming cold. She knew the bunny would come through as been told, and he'd bring her everything there on her list. Nothing for her, rather a warm blanket for her mother, who was always so cold because as a smoker she was also so thin. A set of crutches for her brother, little Tiny Hole, who broke his ankles every Monday at 10. And a set of dentures for her Granny Hole, who'd lost her teeth in a ski lift accident during the Second World War. And if Bunny left Heidi Hole a jelly bean or two, that would be remarkable, but she dared not ask, and nothing rhymes with remarkable. So as evening drew, Heidi Hole's eyes grew heavier and heavier, and before you knew, the entire town of Holeville, including Heidi Hole, was snoring as loud as a town of holes snore. Soon Bunny arrived and did what he'd do for the good little holes since World War II. He left candies and crutches, he left dentures and more. He left blankets and chocolates, a ham big as a door. And when he was done, he hopped into his sleigh, and with a wink of his eye he went on his way. Just then the knob to the back door of Hole's house slowly turned first west, then east, finally south, and in sneaked a 6-foot rabbit-like beast.
So, Heidi Hole's house, this is it? So it is.
The beast snorted a snort, the kind that could make you just punch such a being and poison his lunch. Major A-hole continued.
Heidi Hole's parents are delinquent on taxes. They've ignored all my emails, my letters and faxes. So I'll take all they own and I'll start with this tree. Then this large Easter basket filled with gifts now for me. I'll break both these crutches. This warm blanket feels nice. These dentures I'll rewrap and give to my wife. This ham on my own dinner plate will look dandy. And I'll top off my feast with all of this candy.
As he gathered the thises and that's and the others, he heard a dull thud.
Do I hear Heidi Hole's mother?
But it wasn't the mother, for she slept far too deeply, but little Heidi Hole, with her eyes still so sleepy. She rubbed and she rubbed each eye as she wakened, to see what appeared to be Bunny now shaken. So she cleared her soft voice and spoke somewhat weepy.
Mr. Bunny, my goodness, you look sort of creepy. But what pleases me most is your bag that fell open. Could those gifts be for me? I'm certainly hoping. I'm grateful for anything that you have brought in so I can help others whose help has been sought. As you see, my own family had a spot of hard luck. My mom cannot work since she was hit by a truck. My pops, as you know, had a big heart attack, and my brother's no help with bad ankles that crack. My sisters, you read, have left to be models for companies that sell booze in tall cans and short bottles. So it's really just me that takes care of my family. And boy, what a treat when they see all that hammy. Mr. Bunny, we don't eat near as much as we should. For each dollar we earn, we donate for good to others who need help more so than we. But 90%'s for the tax company.
Well, a bit of water began to well in Major's eyes as little Heidi Hole continued. She apologized.
I'm so glad I saw you because had I forgotten, I've a gift for you. I'd have felt kind of rotten if you had hopped back to Fun Bunnyland and this gift stayed sitting here in my teeny tiny Heidi Hole hand.
And the mean, ugly fake bunny with a hole in his soul unwrapped that small gift. He tore off the bow, paper, and the lid he did lift. And it was then that Major A. Hole's own hole grew 100 times 0. For that gift was a mirror, engraved on the frame 3 words, "You're my hero."
Oh, my dear Heidi Hole,
Blubbered Major A. Hole.
I don't like what I see. You see, I'm a Major A-hole.
But you're not, Mr. Bunny. You're a super nice rabbit. Handing out lots of presents is a pretty nice habit.
I haven't been honest. I'm not a kind bunny. I'm a fake, a fraud. I take most of your money, but that ends today. I will change my profession. From this day on forward, I shall share my possessions.
This is where you might think this fable should end, but so many have asked what happened since then. A-Hole's newfound kindness and gestures of charity helped all of Holeville. He was quite the celebrity. Heidi's mother kicked smoking, became a go-getter. Daddy's heart grew stronger. He got so much better. The sisters returned and now sell homemade sweaters, and little tiny Hole could afford brand new ankles without owing to debtors. And as for Heidi Hole, she grew up to be a very skilled, much sought-after dentist, specializing in rare gum disease research in third world countries. And she married Phil, an insurance adjuster from Fort Wayne, Indiana. The marriage, though, only lasted a year. As so often the case, Heidi wed her career. And Phil was really quite dull anyway. As for Major A-Hole, he found fortune in trucking. And when not on the road, he's home all day.
Ugh. Hey, Steve, I'm so sorry I'm late. Oh, shoot, are we on the air?
No, not anymore. I was reading and then all of a sudden it just kind of went out.
What? We have a technical?
Yeah, some kind of snafu.
They think 3 minutes.
3? All right. We'll fix that in 3. Thank you.
All right. Oh, that's lucky.
Yeah.
Oh, Steve, you didn't read that out loud on the air, did you?
Oh, yes. I was almost finished when everything went out. But Dave, I forgot what a classic tale this is. That Easter story. And I have to tell you, I think we may have just made somebody's Easter a little bit brighter. Yeah, with my award-winning narration. And interestingly enough, we had some celebrity mystery guest voices throughout.
Mystery guest voices?
Absolutely.
Well, that sounds fun.
I think, and I'm hoping you'll agree with me, we may have the scent of a new tradition right here in the making.
Scent of a tradition. Well, there certainly is a stench.
Thank you.
Thank you, too. Ringo. 2. Got 2.
Dave, have you tried this new Easter eggnog prepared by our beveragist Bailey?
Bailey made nog? You know, I've been such a rush. I'll tell you later what happened. Wow, that is some really good nog. Bailey, you're the best.
That is an
That was
understatement.
great.
Yeah.
Wow. think she put in this?
Oh, she won't. Bailey's not going to divulge her secret recipe, but I'm guessing rabbit urine.
No, I'm not picking up on that. It's got to be something else.
Well, it's certainly one part egg and another part nog.
Yeah, well, that's sure. I can taste both of those, but there's something else in there.
Yeah. Dave, got a question for you.
Yeah.
Why? This has puzzled me for years. Why does a bunny hand out chicken eggs?
Well, I don't know. Do I look like the Easter professor, Steve?
Well, if you want me to be honest, yes, you do.
Oh, thanks.
Is there an Easter professor?
Oh. Hello and welcome to the Special Chamber of Comedy, abbreviated because Steve took so long reading the Easter Story Easter Special Update Special. I'm Dave Hanwright.
And I'm Steve Burnett. And this special abbreviated Easter Update special is brought to you by Maine Repertory Theater and Kinky Katarina's fur-lined blood pressure cuffs. Who says you can only use your arm to take your blood pressure? Dave?
See, we've sunk to a new low, Steve.
Absolutely.
It's just lowered to me. This just in. CBS enjoyed their highest ratings in recent years as millions tuned in to watch the interview between Oprah Winfrey and Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Behind-the-scenes dirt was dished out as the world learned some very interesting and, in some cases, disturbing and embarrassing insights into the Queen and the royal monarchy.
Ah, yes, a beautiful, stately bird.
Unnamed sources from the Queen tell us the Oprah interviews table may soon be turned.
That's great news, Dave. I think the entire world, as well as us here on the news team, are looking forward to what kind of insightful questions Meghan Markle will have for Oprah.
Steve, if I could finish. Sure. Oprah may soon have an audience and interview with the Queen herself to get the Queen's side of the story of Meghan and Prince Harry's scandalous accusations.
I'm guessing that there will be a sign languagist.
You mean a translator, Steve?
Dave, I would warn you to leave that subject alone. You see, I just don't think the Queen can speak English.
If there's one language the Queen can definitely speak, it's English. I mean, they're from England. It's the Queen's English, Steve.
Oh, I stand corrected. I did not know that she owned her own language.
She didn't.
And I call myself a journaler.
We, of course, wish both Oprah and the Queen of England the very best of luck.
Coming up, Skippy Lemoyne's lucky rabbit's foot, not so lucky for his pet rabbit Eileen. After this word from 50 Shades of Earl Grey tea. When the moment is right and you've worked up a thirst from all that whipping and whatnot, quench that thirst with 50 Shades of Earl Grey tea. Oh yeah, it's the tea that'll do for you what the other teas won't.
You'll be asking for seconds.
We're out. Thank you, 60. Steve, I just want to bring it up. This update's going much longer than it's supposed to. Remember, we got that warning to keep it under 15 minutes or we might lose our jobs.
Relax, Dave, relax. Sometimes you just gotta let it breathe, okay? Art should not be constricted by time limits or by taste. Did Edgar Picasso use a day planner, huh? Did Pablo Degas check his watch every 5 minutes? Did Eugene Hemingway punch in with one of those time clocks? And write only from 9 to 5 like his predecessor Dolly Parton did? Oh, Dave, you're going to soon learn that art often has its own beginning, its own middle, and its own end organically, just like true love, I would imagine.
Steve, I would imagine that I would truly love to see you end organically. You have absolutely no idea what you're talking about, Dave.
There's a lot of things I'm not, Dave, but you're going to have to agree. I am consistent.
And we're back. In sporting news, more than 20 years ago, professional basketball made what many argue was an unwise decision of allowing players to jump straight from high school graduation into the NBA, rather than moving up through the college ranks.
Now football is going one better this upcoming season, permitting players to leap from Pop Warner Youth Football League straight to the NFL.
8-year-old Tanner Stages from Dublin, Ohio, is expected to forego not only a full college scholarship, but high school and junior high as well. And instead, this 4'2", 57-pound, 6th grade fleet-footed phenom is tossing his cap into the NFL draft later this month.
Easy for you to say, Dave. Now, Tanner is expected to go the second round to the Detroit Lions,
where his career, much like Steve's here, is guaranteed to fizzle out before he turns 20.
Absolutely. And now, with a special Easter edition of Things I Learned the Hard Way, please don't ask me how. Here's Dave.
Thank you, Steve. When hiding the kids' Easter baskets and choosing to hide one in the clothes dryer, it's a good idea to make sure to empty out that clothes dryer and see no one turns on that clothes dryer until after the child has found their basket. Steve?
Melted the chocolate bunnies?
Oh, melted the bunnies. Have you ever smelled a dryer after it's tumbled 24 hard-boiled eggs on high heat for an hour?
Every Sunday, Dave. Every Sunday.
And now with a personal note, here's Steve.
Thank you, Peter Cottontail. The Easter season has always held a special place in my heart and in my stomach. Aside from celebrating the resurrection and eating lots of ham, it also marked the last vestige of some sort of discipline regiment in my pathetic attempts to get back into shape. You see, when my New Year's resolutions go down the crapper on January 3rd, I know I still have Lent to look forward to, where many of us try to give up something for those 40 holy days, leading up to the finish line that many of us call Easter Sunday. Now, some give up soda, some try candy or chips or fried foods. As for me, I tried to give up pickled sardines with onions, so you can understand why once again I have failed big, and failed early. Oh sure, there were a lot of factors to blame, especially this year and last with the COVID. But the long and short of it is, my meals go too long and my workouts too short. But my promise to you is this: if we are able to continue to provide these award-wanting updates, you will begin to see a thinning in me as I start the long journey of losing many, many unwanted pounds over the next several months. Because let's face it, the healthier I am, the longer I can be here, informing, reporting, and being your fun-time pal. Dave?
Steve, I have to get you some really good credit. Trying to give up pickled sardines and onions is, wow, that's a tough one.
Thank you. Thank you.
I was thinking maybe we could create a workout routine that we could do together.
Time out on that. Dave, I'm a very private individual, so I'm going to take this journey solo. I hope you don't take offense.
And that's this week's update. Thank you for joining us. If you like whatever this is, follow us on Facebook and subscribe on YouTube. Until next week, I'm always Dave Hanrahan.
And I'm only one very large Steve Burnett. Happy Easter, everyone. And remember this, when news breaks out, so do we. Thank you.
And good night. Well, that went well, I thought.
Sure.
Steve, you know, I was thinking you could begin your weight loss regimen by foregoing all that ham that we're speaking about.
Oh, I am one step ahead of you there, Davy boy. I'm eating diet ham.
Diet ham.
Uh-huh.
Diet ham.
Yeah, it's from Virginia. It's hogs they're raised on kale.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's really that humane to raise pigs and slaughter them like that, Steve.
Dave, they're raised on kale, so fortunately, they're looking forward to dying.